I know I'm not alone, but I gotta say, this past year has me feeling a little off balance. We're talking about white balance today, but I want to get in a quick personal note for my regular viewers first. If you're not interested, just skip ahead to this time for the core content. Wow, what a year it has been. We've all been through a lot of stress and a lot of changes. Due to the nature of my day job, the pandemic sent my work schedule into overdrive. Long shifts on a skeleton crew with higher customer demands and 24/7 on-call status. And in the midst of all that chaos, I saw an opportunity for a promotion and went for it. Now, I find myself in a brand new position with a steep learning curve, but a lot of upside. So as you can guess, that meant I had a little less time and energy to dedicate to my channel. But that gave me a chance to step back a little bit and evaluate. And I have to say, you guys gave me some great encouragement through your feedback on my videos. I've also found that the videos with the least views are usually the ones with the strongest positive response from the people who do happen to watch, which is great because those are usually the videos I enjoy making the most. I don't know what this coming year may bring, but I still love making these videos and especially hearing about the positive impact they have on all of you. Thank you. So, white balance. What is it? Well, basically, it's how your camera knows what color things are. Seems pretty simple, but that's only because our brains are incredibly good at adapting to our environment and compensating for changes. The same object can look very different under different types of lights. After all, color's really just a manifestation of which wavelengths of light are reflected to our eyes, and that is necessarily dependent on which wavelengths of light hit the object to begin with. So, things look different under different types of lights. Our brains compensate for it subconsciously. Our cameras, well, they need a little help sometimes. Now, I have to be honest here. I use auto white balance most of the time, and there are two reasons for that. First, our cameras are pretty darn good at figuring out the lighting and compensating for it. Second, I always shoot in RAW, so on the rare occasion where the camera misjudges the scene, I can easily correct it in post-processing. In fact, that is the #1 reason why I shoot RAW. To me, it's even more important than the improved shadow and highlight recovery of RAW versus JPEG, but that's another video. In most situations, you can set your camera's white balance to auto and happily click away with no worries. However, there are some situations where I still like to tell the camera which white balance setting to use. Video is one example, but I won't go into detail on that one. Flash photography. Whenever I use a flash, I set the white balance manually to the flash setting. After all, it's the perfect scenario where the camera knows exactly what the lighting conditions are going to be. By the way, you have started using off-camera flash, right? The last situation where I will set the white balance manually is when there is a light source in the frame, particularly one that doesn't match the overall lighting of the scene. And remember, a light source doesn't just mean a lamp or overhead light fixture. One of the most common culprits is a TV or a computer monitor. So if I'm taking a photo that includes either of those, I'm setting my white balance manually for the scene. In those instances, it's usually incandescent. Honestly, as a hobbyist, that's really all you need to know about white balance. Most of the time, auto is just fine. And when you do need to take control, the presets in the menu take care of 99% of those other situations. One word of warning here on a particularly tricky scenario, mixed lighting. This is when you have two very different light sources in your scene. Maybe there's daylight coming in through a window, but also some incandescent lights on in the room. Or you're using fill flash to photograph an event like a wedding reception. The best approach from a white balance perspective is to eliminate all but one light source, but that's not always possible. In those cases, set your white balance for the dominant light source and make sure you're shooting RAW files so you can tweak it later in post-processing. Of course, like most topics, you can dig a lot deeper if you want. In fact, I'd encourage you to do so. It never hurts to expand your knowledge and understanding of any topic. But this basic overview is all you need to go take pictures and have fun doing it.